What's going on, everybody? How are you doing? I hope you're having an awesome Saturday night here, and a lot to talk about. This is going to be sort of an interesting mashup show, as Jonnaire insisted that she wanted to be part of the broadcast, and she has brought along her art supplies. We've got all the art supplies here, so that's fun. And we have some blank papers that I'm sure Jonnaire will be filling out during the broadcast, and she's very, very fast at doing that. So we're going to see Miss Jonnaire and her drawing fast. I want to talk about a bunch of things, and I don't know exactly where this show's exactly going to go. And here's the other thing too: I'm testing out a new setup for the camera, so it's possible that the camera may cut out at some point. Hopefully not. I think we're okay there, but I'm just letting you know that could happen. Looks like we're pretty bright tonight too. But I was thinking about this the other night, and this has been brewing for a long time, and I am the political expert, right, along with the super genius. And check all the video disclaimers on the YouTube video description. And now I can take comments. We can take comments right here, right now, live on. Sorry, we got mom in the background. I was worried about Jonnaire's behavior. She's fine. On the trying to keep Jonnaire in line. Miss Jonnaire does what she wants. She's a 5-year-old kid. She's amazing. We love her. So I can take comments live here on YouTube. I will also monitor later and respond later on Facebook and on LinkedIn. And I have been involved in campaigns, at a high level, etc. I don't need to get back into that. Political science undergrad at Berkeley, law degree at Berkeley. I've been involved in politics on and off most of my life, right? And I've been following this campaign, and it's very interesting. Now, I haven't been directly involved in politics for a little bit because, in my opinion, it's been a little too crazy. But I may be re-engaging here soon. We'll see what's going on with that. But I do want to talk to you, and of course, we're very close, hopefully, to launching the radio show as well.
All these videos for you guys.
See, we liked. Go ahead. What do you want to say, real quick?
So we're gonna do those papers soon after Daddy tells the grown-up stuff.
Yes.
The video is gonna be so like other videos.
Now, do you want to start doing some drawings right now, and then we can talk about what your drawings are while Daddy talks about some of the grown-up stuff? You want to start doing some drawings? She may start doing some drawings here while we talk about some of the grown-up stuff. And then again, we're just showing you we've got some blank papers right here. And we've got all of her art supplies here, so she's going to go ahead and start working on some drawings, and we don't know what she's going to draw, and we'll talk about it. All right, so here's the thing. I was watching Bill Maher. I was watching, Fox News, CNN. I look at all the stuff, international news sites out there. I look at a lot of different sources to analyze this. And I can see, sort of the coverage, in my opinion, has been a lot of this, hey, Trump's gonna run, and he's the only one running, and someone's gonna stop him, and if he wins, then the Republicans can't win. I'm seeing, these Republican analysts out there, and really analysts on both sides, that are saying, that maybe Trump can't win. And certainly, who knows what's gonna happen in any election? That's so far off, right? But right now, if I were to predict, who's going to be the nominees, it's going to be Trump and it's going to be Biden. If I were to predict right now, today, that doesn't mean that's how it's going to work out. But I see a lot of this coverage of, what are we going to do? And the classified documents and DOJ and potential and all this potential stuff about what may trip Trump up from not running. And it just seems really odd to me, right? It's just an odd argument. And when I say this, it is just super simple. And a lot of times it's almost like a post-it note. Like once you know what it is, why didn't I think of that? It's such a simple, in some ways a simple analysis, but it's such a deep analysis in this way. And I don't want to jump the headline immediately, because I want to really lay out the show right here. But I will get to it very quickly here. We're at the 4.5 minute mark. Let's say if I don't get to it by 6.5 minutes or less, then we're going to get on to it, and I'll explain why.
talk too much.
I do talk a lot. We do know that. Yes, absolutely. Hey, by the way, we're having the live art here. I'm just going to show. Let me just show everybody what you've got right here. Within 30 seconds, look what she's already done here. I don't know if it's going to show up. Look at that. Now, I'm not saying it's a Mona Lisa, but I'm very proud of my daughter. It's all unbelievable. She's very, very talented. This is coming off really bright. I think I'm going to turn off the light. Well, that didn't adjust. Anyway. And so a lot of the analysis really kind of comes down to me of, hey, Trump's gonna win the nomination, but he's not gonna be able to win the general election. And to me, like, I'm actually just gonna get to it right now. If you're so worried, you're so concerned about Trump winning that he's got these problems, right? He's got the, you don't like what he says or these other issues or whatever political, negatives you think Trump brings. There's a really, really easy solution in my opinion. An extremely easy solution to that in my opinion. You do know what that is? I mean, it's so easy it's not even funny. But the fact that I don't think this has been really rolled out that much may indicate a little more to the story potentially, if you get what I mean. And that is this. The easiest way to defeat Trump politically is just to mirror his policies. I mean, I was thinking about that. Like, if the Republicans are so worried, insert the analyst here, whether it's, someone on Fox News or whether it's Paul Ryan or Kristen Anderson Soltis or whomever it may be. I'm not alleging anything. I'm just saying insert the name here, Republican strategist, Republican policy. Just mimic the strategies. So the number one contender against Trump, and some have theorized that maybe the Republican Governors Association is putting out the splitter strategy, and we're seeing Governor Haley getting in the mix, and potentially a lot of people are potentially lining up to make some announcements here. Governor DeSantis over the last 2 years, it's not like Governor DeSantis, I mean, and he's my governor. I think he's doing a fantastic job, him and his team, absolutely fantastic job. I'm not aware of every single policy, and I'm not here to condone or endorse every single policy, but overall, very, very popular governor here. I think he's done a great job. I think his team has done a great job. I think that the results at the voting booth and the polls have shown that. But what are his policies over the last 2 or 3 years? He has, and I've seen this written out there, he's basically mimicked the Trump policies without the Trump negatives. And I think that Wall Street, corporate America, the donor class, if you will, really, really has taken to Governor DeSantis. And so you have these other people lining up. You have a Governor DeSantis. If it's not Trump, it's going to be DeSantis, right? And to my knowledge, right, to my guesstimation right now, awesome drawing right here. We have the live art going on right here from Jonnaire. And I mean, this is all happening within less than 10 minutes. She's just smashing this out. She's unbelievable. She really loves to draw. Very talented. Gets it from her mother. Definitely doesn't get it from me. I can't draw my way up in a paper bag. Look at that. Ta-da. How about that? It's amazing. Oh my gosh. I love it. You are so amazing. Thank you. You're so amazing. That's awesome. Okay. Drawing number 2. We may need mom in here maybe to turn on the lights a little bit. I think these lights are a little bit bright. Let me see if I can kind of crank these down just a smidge here. See if we can get down a little bit here. Oh no, I'm going the wrong way with that. I'm kind of messing that up. Let's see if we can kind of like show this out because it's kind of bright. Okay. Yeah, that's a little bit better. And then if you can take this one down just a little bit, because I think with these new settings, this camera's really showing up bright. Just the knob. Yeah, just to kind of take it down maybe like 10 points.
You could see the.
So anyway, what I'm saying is, the reason that no, that's up a smidge there. Yeah, it's close. That's fine. Perfect. Thank you so much. The point is in order to beat Trump, you need to have policies like Trump. Why? Because there's no other politician out there who has implemented these policies and are like Trump. Now there's some, right? And the ones that are being successful are doing that. Governor DeSantis. Now there was a lot of resistance to Speaker McCarthy, okay, prior to his taking the speakership.
Please listen to Daddy.
Thank you very much. And if you see with Speaker McCarthy, even what is it now, 2-3 short weeks, whatever it is. I mean, it's pretty recent. There was a lot of resistance from the Freedom Caucus and all that. Since he's taken over, and some of the policies and some of the hearings and some of these things, how much have you heard out there in the analysis class, if you will, in the media, in conservative media or Fox, whatever, criticism of Speaker McCarthy? I've heard almost none. Why? Because he's implementing policies, he's doing things. At the end of the day, whether it's Ross, I've said this before, Pat Buchanan, Ross Perot, Sarah Palin, Tea Party, now Trump, and again, not speaking on any one of those politicians, I'm not endorsing anything, I'm not saying anything, I'm taking no position one way or the other. I'm just trying to state what I believe is a political fact, if you will, in my opinion, which is that there is this need that you have to have a politician or group of politicians that can actually represent efficiently the desires of a voting bloc. I'm not saying don't be representative. I'm not saying don't make we don't have straight democracy. We have a constitutional republic, etc., etc. We all know that. All that's stipulated. But you have to have some relationship between what the people want and what the policies are over some period of time. You can't have, I've named all those names. That's been going on for now, 20, 30 years? And there's been, until Trump, no one out there that really implemented at a national levels policies that people said, hey, yeah, that's what I voted for, or whatever, in my opinion. Now, perhaps on the left with President Obama, or maybe now with Biden, but not on the right. So again, it's not necessarily a left-right thing. Hey, what's going on? Hey, Salma. Hey, Jackie, it's Jackie. Okay,
hi, Jackie.
Salma says hi too. This is Jackie. It's Jackie from Aruba.
Hi, Jackie.
Hi, Jackie.
We love you.
We love you, Jackie. You're the best. Oh my gosh, I cannot just tell you. It's a cliche, but it's true. Aruba, one happy island. We had such a great time in Aruba. And Jackie was fantastic. Jackie works over there at Setar. I hope I'm okay saying this, Jackie. But anyway, it's one of the big mobile phone companies out there. Look at this, huh? We've got two different drawings over here. Yes.
So this is a...
We miss you too.
This is a goal.
Okay,
this
go ahead. I'll shut up for a second.
And also, this is a ladybug.
A ladybug.
And also a goal right here.
You see how fast she draws? She's unbelievable. Salma, I think we need more paper, please. She will just burn through paper so quick. Yeah, we got it right there. Sorry, that's my mistake. Look at this. We're gonna have the stack of this. Is Jackie. Jackie says she misses. We love Aruba. We had such a good time, and we've only really got a few videos up. We will. Oh, good. Jackie says you did a good job, Jonnaire. We've only got a few videos up. We have so many more videos of Aruba. We really had a great time there. I all my life I wanted to go to the Caribbean. We finally were able to go, and I'm so glad that we picked Aruba. And Jackie and everyone there were so hospitable. And again, I'm not they're not paying for me or endorsing this channel or sponsoring this channel or sponsoring this video, whatever, but we had a good and I'll have a whole video on this and a whole thing on it, but we had a good time in Aruba, and I had a good experience with the mobile phone stuff there with Setar and everything, and I can't tell you what a great person there Jackie was in helping us and helping my family, and it was just really appreciate that, and can't wait to see you soon, hopefully, Jackie, and go back to Aruba really as soon as possible. So so getting back to this, with the Trump stuff, it's a simple point, but it's a point that really should be made, which is if the Republican Party writ large, and whomever that is, right? Governor DeSantis has done so well by mimicking Trump-like policies, obviously having his own policies, and obviously knowing Florida, and having grown up in Florida, and being able to speak to the issues here, and having a great team. I'm not saying it's just all about being Trump, but I would say of everyone who, I'm saying three things at once. any major political alternative to Trump on the Republican side, I would say Governor DeSantis is probably the closest to Trump in policies. Okay, in my opinion. Oh, that's awesome. Thank you, Jackie. Absolutely. You're welcome. And so now, that's why you've got Trump and DeSantis. Now, any idea? Now, what is this? What is this, Jonnaire? What do we have here?
Orange.
It's an orange. Fantastic. I love it. So, if people want to if people want to defeat Trump politically, you need to be like Trump. You know, I mean, that's what I think. In my opinion, you need to be like Trump. And the fact that people don't want to do that, or don't want to mimic that, or don't want to respond to the voters. I'm not talking about style. I'm not talking about, I mean, to me, that's the biggest opportunity, or one of the biggest opportunities politically in Lane right there. If you think that, Trump, you don't like his personality, the political baggage, whatever you want to call it. If you don't like that, if you think that that's a liability, and a lot of people out there may think that, absolutely. Listen, I don't like everything Trump says, and I think there's been a calibration over time. And I definitely, do not condone or endorse a lot of the things that Trump has said. I've said that on the air before, absolutely. But the policy, so if you can be, and this is maybe what DeSantis is trying to be, if you can be Trump on policies or like that, again, it doesn't have to be all of his policies, but just be, and what I mean by that is just be responsive to the voters. Just be responsive to the voters, right? Without the political baggage, with better, more inclusive, like whatever you want to call it there. And again, this is not, what is that? What?
This is a standard for dress.
The grass stands, like on the beach and stuff, like they do, like the.
Standards for the dress, and it's glass to see dress.
It's a dress.
And the window is there for everybody to see.
Oh, nice! I like it. I'm not 100% sure what that is, but we're gonna show it.
This is the dress with something on it to hold it.
It's a dress on the mannequin, and okay, fantastic. I love it. She'll keep going. So that's what I'm trying to say about that. It's very simple. Just be responsive to the voters and mimic Trump-like policies with your own style, with your own professionalism, whatever, without the negatives, and that should be a super strong winning platform, right? You'd think so. I mean, if Trump, let me frame it a different way. If Trump is so bad, has all these negatives, says all this crazy stuff, does all this crazy stuff, and I'm not saying I'm just saying hypothetically, if this is the criticism, right? Why is he so successful politically? Well, it's just stop. Like, to me, that's saying that the policies must be popular, at least with the Republican voters, and certainly, with he won an election there with America. So if you want to defeat Trump politically, you would grab some of those, at least some of those policies, right? Or be responsive to the voters. So to me, it really feels like this is some. How do I say this? How do I want to phrase this? It's almost like that line in I think it's Macbeth or Henry VIII. It's one of these. It's from Shakespeare. What is that?
A blueberry.
This is a blueberry. We've got a blueberry. It's amazing. You see how fast she just does this? It's unbelievable. Go ahead.
The blueberries with the on it, on the blueberry is a plate. It's a plate.
It's a blueberry on a plate? It's a really big blueberry, or it's just one blueberry?
It's just one.
Okay, fair enough. So what I'm trying to say there is, if that's the criticism of Trump, that should be an easy solution. If you want to defeat Trump politically, so to the extent that a Governor Haley's going to run, a Governor Sununu's going to run, a Governor Christie's going to run, Governor DeSantis is going to run, I mean, then you just have to mimic those kind of policies. To the extent, in my opinion, that Trump has support from the Republican base, it's not so much that I can't speak for everyone, obviously. I'm just doing some analysis here. I don't believe that it's so much that he was president before and it's deference. I don't think that's it at all. I think that the voters trust President Trump to actually implement those policies, to actually challenge the status quo, to actually push back against bureaucracy or big tech or whatever it might be. That's what I think, right? So that's the thing right there. Now, why I think Trump may win, has a good shot of winning. Again, if I were to make a guesstimation right now, I think it's going to be Trump versus Biden. And I think people don't want it. Okay, well, but they do. I mean, people say they don't want something, but then they vote for it, right? So, I mean, we'll see. If Trump's so beatable, then beat him. Then beat him, right? And so why I think Trump has a strong chance to win is because I don't think these other candidates are going to embrace and implement those policies. What Republican voters and conservative voters are so sick of is all this talk on the campaign trail, talking big. And again, I don't want to, listen, I like to be positive, not negative. I don't want to sit here and punk anyone out, but a few names absolutely come to mind. And they feel like, I mean, just look at, in some ways, look at the Senate. Now, you're seeing some strength in the Senate, in my opinion. You're seeing, former governor and Senator Rick Scott. I like some of the things he's been saying. But you're seeing a lot of the Republican voters feel like they're kind of sold out in terms of, you hear all this talk of the campaign trail, and of course, okay, some things can change, whatever. But then when they go to Washington, it all is different. Now, what I do like seeing in the House, and I think we're seeing some strength in the House. I think we're seeing, and again, don't know all the policies. I'm not sitting here endorsing anyone. I'm not sitting here endorsing, everything they say or do or everything like that. I'm just saying at a very, very extremely high level from the snippets that I've seen recently, very impressed with Representative Byron Donalds, I think. I hope I said that right, and I apologize if I didn't. Let me look that up. From Florida. Very impressed there. I mean, I think he's done a great job. Yeah, I think that's correct. I think he's doing a really, really strong job from what I've seen with some of these hearings on the whole tech stuff. I also really like, I've seen some stuff from, I want to say Anna Paulina Luna. I think she's my congressperson, which is awesome. Okay, and again, I'm not, I don't know all the policies. I've been just buried in work and everything like that. But what I'm saying is that people are now out there, and I think Speaker McCarthy. I think we're seeing a different Speaker McCarthy. Listen, I was in California, and I was involved with the California Young Republicans Club, and I went to the GOP convention, and Republican. I knew some of the Republican Party people out there in California, and I think the Speaker McCarthy now is different than Speaker McCarthy in the Young Gun days, if you will, right? With him and Eric Cantor and former Speaker Ryan. And I'm not dissing on anybody, but I think there's been an evolution. I think there's been an evolution of Speaker McCarthy even within the last few weeks, month, if you will. And so, to defeat Trump politically, somebody's got to take up those issues. What do we have here? Wow, look at that. Look at that cat. That's amazing. Why don't you want to talk about that a little bit? Why don't you talk about this drawing a little bit?
So this is a cat and is all knows where is putting a short and also a skirt on her, and it looks. You could see.
This is basically a fashionable cat. That's amazing.
And
I mean, she can come up with
cat, which
a cat with stripes. This is fantastic.
And also have a suit, and also
a suit and a stripe.
Also, this cat is really when you look at it, is kind of cute for you.
You're like at least 10 times cuter than me. that is for sure. Okay.
That is a really
now, I mean, here, this is. I'm just going to go through. I'm going to get right back to the politics in a second. I don't know that anyone's ever attempted this, which is live politics and live art at the same time, and I love it. And see, what's cool about this is, I mean, Jonnaire, and I'm obviously a proud dad, is you've had 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, sorry, upside down. 5, 6 drawings in under 24 minutes by Jonnaire. I mean, she's unbelievable. She's very fast. I mean, some of the stuff is like, okay, and some of the stuff's like, wow, that's really good, in my opinion. But of course, I'm obviously super biased. And so I think that's really the heart of it, right? I mean, this should be super simple. It should be super easy. It should be like, okay, hey, like we think, you know, Trump maybe is not the future of the party. I'm speculating here. I'm just saying what might be, you know, if you're not a Trump fan and you want to defeat him politically, well, how would you do that, right? Well, okay, so let's get a candidate without the baggage that can have the Trump policies, and maybe that's the plan with DeSantis. But what is this? What do we got here?
This is the garden.
A garden. Oh wow, we've got the grass right here, and we've got the sky, and we've got the sun up there. If it's going to be Trump versus DeSantis, I don't think DeSantis wins. Not right now. Now it's going to be interesting if everybody's against Trump and you know, Trump has a tough go of it politically, and then DeSantis is at, you know, the alternative at the end. We'll see. We'll see how it plays out. And I think that a lot of voters would be happy with either one of those choices on the Republican side. But at the end of the day, I think that the reason why, well, one is that Trump has got much more name ID than DeSantis. I think that DeSantis has huge name ID here in Florida and huge name ID within the Republican Party at with the grassroots. Let me put it this way, with the people that are very tuned into politics. But I think on a national level, in a general election level, the name ID of DeSantis is way below Trump. I mean, I think we get so much, it's almost as confirmation bias. We get so, or whatever you want to call it, right? And I'm just thinking about, like, you know, like communication courses and stuff. But so I don't want to talk too academically here, but I mean, you know, you think everybody thinks like you or has a life like you or is tuned into the things that you're tuned into, and it's just not that way, right? There's so much different things out there, and I just think that the average voter, the average, you know, the general public doesn't know in Nebraska and Kansas and, you know, New Hampshire, they don't know Governor DeSantis to any significant extent like they know President Trump. President Trump is a worldwide celebrity still, right? So, but I also think that Trump has some work to do and has a hill to climb politically, has some things he needs to adjust and tweak, and I think there's going to be a harder media environment for Trump. I'm not saying that, you know, this is going to be a coronation for Trump by any stretch. I think Trump has a lot of challenges, out there. But I think that he's someone that's much more tuned in and is ready to make those changes. I mean, what is this?
Planet Earth, and this is...
That's planet Earth in space? And the sun over here, so this would be the sun.
Earth.
Oh, sorry, this is the sun over here, and this is space, and then this is the planet Earth.
Yes, inside is
amazing, amazing. Okay, you're doing great. So I think that Trump has a lot of things that he needs to do and changes he needs to make to be successful. And I think that it's not going to be easy for President Trump by any stretch. But you can't, as the old saying goes in politics, you can't beat something with nothing. Like what is the alternative for Trump? Oh, it's DeSantis. Well, I don't think it's that easy. And I think, and Bill Maher's talked about this. Megyn Kelly talked about this. You know, when she was interviewing Rubin, right, on from the Rubin Report on her show. And he was like, oh yeah, you know, he's all fired up for DeSantis. And she's like, you don't understand. Trump is going to crush DeSantis. And I think, you know, Paul Begala was saying similar things. And I think also Bill Maher was saying similar things. I don't know, right? I think if I were... Listen, I mean, you know, there's a lot of people that want to see DeSantis chill and let Trump run here, and then DeSantis runs next time. But I don't know. I'm not ready to make that call by any stretch. I think, you know, Jesse Kelly on his show has said, hey, let's have them both battle it out in primary, and whoever's strongest wins. The whole point of this show, besides the art, you know, is, you know, we need authenticity in our politics. What is this one?
It's a bow with this drawer.
It's a bow in the drawer? Okay, so this is the drawer, and this is a bow on your head.
No, this is a bow in the drawer.
In the drawer. A bow in the drawer. We need authenticity in our politics. That, you know, voters need representatives and politicians that are going to represent them. And I think the strength that Trump has is in authenticity and actually delivering on policies that were very difficult and challenging. That, you know, Insider Washington and the donor class and the media and Wall Street, whatever, you know, the big donors maybe didn't want, you know, well, how about, let me put it this way. I'm not I mean, there's no conspiracies by any stretch, and everything I'm saying is all my personal opinion, and we're for peace, love, freedom, opportunity, liberty, equality for everybody. What I'm saying though is that there's a saying, a Latin saying in the law, right? Res ipsa loquitur, the thing speaks for itself. There's been 30, 40 years of voters on the Republican side, 20 to 40 years saying, hey, we want these things, and they haven't been delivered by hardly any politicians in any significant amount on the national scale. Before Trump, it was Reagan, right? And I would say Trump even went farther than Reagan in some things. And then you have to ask yourself, if voters have wanted this and they haven't been delivered, well, why is that, right? And then you have to just walk through the different, what is this?
A closet.
A closet. Wow, that's very, very good. So that's where I'm landing on all this, which is to say, if you want to defeat Trump politically, you need to deliver for voters. And you need and starting off with policies that, you know, a significant amount of policies that Trump is espousing, or that polls right or tests right or whatever you want to say, you know, surveys correctly, you know, surveys as popular with voters might be a pretty good place to start. Actually delivering change, actually having government be representative to support the middle class, to support, you know, workers out there, to support, you know, whether that's, the Trump agenda, the MAGA agenda, anything you want to, you know, talk about, transparency, authenticity, free speech, all these things. I mean, these are some of these issues that Trump is talking about, and that the Freedom Caucus and now even Speaker McCarthy are talking about, are like minimum 60-40, some of them, not all of them obviously, but some of them are 60-40 issues, 70-30 issues, 80-20 issues. These should not be hard, right? And they should benefit you politically. So that's what I would say about that, is I think that if you want to beat Trump, if you want to defeat Trump politically, that's the way that you would do it. So we will see. To be determined. I think it's going to be very, very interesting. I don't think that Governor Haley, if she has the policies that she had before, are going to, you know, in terms of some, you know, some of the stances are going to work. I don't think Governor Christie is going to win on the Republican side for the nomination. I don't think that's going to be there. Now, some people are saying, hey, they're there to kind of support DeSantis, and then maybe they get rolls and weaken Trump. I guess. I don't think that's. Oh, now what is this?
A bed on the table.
A bed on the table? Amazing. My goodness, we need some more paper.
Let's read all the paper.
So let's go ask Mama, see if she'll get us a little more paper here real quick.
Wait a minute.
Okay.
Let's count all the papers.
Okay. Okay, let's count the paper. Sorry, we're going to take a quick art break here, and I'll talk more politics in a second, then we'll talk to Miss Jonnaire over here, all right? Mm-hmm. Now, it's about 32 minutes here, right? Just under 33 minutes. Let's count the numbers that we have. We have 1 drawing, 2 drawings, 3 drawings, 4 drawings, 5 drawings. Some of these aren't showing up super great. 6 drawings, 7 drawings, 8 drawings, 9 drawings, 10 drawings, 11 drawings. So you're basically averaging about 1 drawing every 3 minutes. That's amazing. You've done an amazing job, Jonnaire. Good job. High five. Go get some more paper. Ask Mama for some paper if you want some more paper. And then I'll wind down here.
I'm going to get more paper, and then we're going to come and put this.
Sounds good. Go get Mama, and then she'll get you Go get Mommy, she'll get you paper. We'll do some more drawing here. I'm winding down the politics here, and we'll do some drawing and focus on you. So look, that's what I would say about that. I think that's kind of where I end up on that. I really feel like she needs, like, just get her like 5 more, please. I really feel like it's going to be a very interesting political. I think it's going to be a very interesting political season here. I think it's all, you know, TBD, to be determined. I definitely think Governor DeSantis could be a huge force in here. I think he would have a decent chance to win. I think that a lot of things can happen. I think we don't know. Trump is definitely an X factor politically. We don't know, but if I had to, again, I will say it again. If I had to predict right now on February 11th, who I think it's going to be in 2024, I think it's going to be Biden, President Biden on the Democratic side, and I think it's going to be President Trump on the Republican side. Do I see ways Trump can lose? Absolutely. Do I see the ways that other people can win? Absolutely. But the easiest way to gain traction and to win and get support is to espouse the policies that are popular, that like as Trump does. Not all of them, but I mean your own spin on it, your own take. Maybe not, maybe 50% of them, 70%, whatever that mix is, whatever you feel is appropriate, that are going to resonate with the voters. Voters, bottom liners, voters want someone that is going to implement the policies that they want, whom they believe will actually do it and get it done when in office. And President Trump did what he said he was going to do on the campaign trail to a large degree, right? I think he had a whole website there, Promises Kept or whatever it is, and actually fought for those. Didn't get all of them, but got a lot of them. And took the political heat to do so. So we need to see that level of commitment, that level of spine, that level of transparency and authenticity from a Trump competitor, in my opinion, to beat Trump. And it's no surprise to me that the one that's closest to that is the one that's in second place right now in polls, which is Governor DeSantis, who has done an amazing job, in my opinion, in Florida and delivered for the voters of Florida, and has also taken heat and been transparent and talked to people and been very responsive in the face of different challenges, in my opinion. So that's where I'm at on that. What do you think about that? What's your take on that? And again, I'm not to your... what is this?
An octopus, and it's
with the different arms down here and everything?
Yes, and also it's blood. What the octopus blood when it's scared.
Wow. Oh, like they shoot ink, the ink. So, okay, so this is the octopus. This is, right, and this is the ink to try to get away. This is amazing. We have we have cut shapes here and everything. It's really awesome.
You can play with that too.
Okay, so I'm just going to wrap this up and we're going to talk to Jonnaire and we're going to do a little bit of art and we're going to get out of here. And we'll take any comments that you have here. And yeah, so here's what I would say about that, bottom line. I think it's going to be interesting. I think that a lot of things can change, but I think that the days of, hey, it's just, we're going back to the country club Republicans, it's just the insiders and the consultants and the professional, almost, business class, if you will, of Republicanism. That's... there's going to be a lot. Of course, there's experts and there's consultants and there's all that stuff. I get that all, but I think it's not. I'm not. I don't think it's going to go back to the way that it was entirely. I think we're in a different space now, right? I think we're in a different space now. I'm not saying everything's changed, but I think there's a lot of questions out there. And this is not a video to promote anyone, or I'm not, endorsing anybody or anything like that. This is just trying to do analysis to the best of my ability of where I think it stands right now. And I just thought it was just so funny that you'd hear me, oh, Trump can't win. We can't have him. He can't win. If he can't win, what are you worried about? If President Trump can't win, what are you so worried about? And if you want to beat President Trump, why don't you stop those policies? If people want someone that likes those, that has those policies without the negatives, then that should be pretty easy to accomplish, right? So the fact that it's not so easy to accomplish tells me that either, people are not committed to those policies, perhaps. What's this? Oh, a spooky face. What is that?
No.
What is that? A monster?
It's a monster, but I didn't do the body, so sorry.
It's a monster face.
It's the monster's face. It's really a mom.
Nice.
It's really
We got a monster face here. A monster face.
It's from the.
What do you want to say?
This is the death. It's from the.
Think about it. We love it. Take your time. Anyway, that's where I'm at on that. So we're going to see what happens. It's going to be very, very interesting. I look forward.
This is from the Rainbow Friends. This is from the Rainbow Friends.
Rainbow Friends?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're gonna have to see how it all works out and how it all plays out. But that's kind of where I'm at on that. You know, and I'd love to see. Here we go. Uh-oh. Oh, Frank. Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you, man. Hey, listen. Listen, I very much appreciate that. And I appreciate you out there. And thank you so much. I mean, if you've been following my stuff, how often have I been right? How I was early and right about Trump being elected. I've been right about so much. I can't think of when I've been wrong. I mean, no one's right 100% of the time. I mean, obviously, but I mean, I'm right. I'm right so much politically. It's not even funny. But this is the thing. Like, none of this should be really, really hard. And this is the problem. And to the extent that media or Washington or Hollywood thinks, or big tech thinks they can censor or fool people or play people, I don't think that's there anymore. I mean, I think they'll try and potentially. You know, I'm not saying there's any conspiracy or whatever, but everyone tries to persuade people in the media stuff. I get it, but I think that. Let me put it a different way. I think people are very, very smart now. I think people are hip to it. It's just like if you like professional wrestling, there's a lot of people that understand what it is. They get what it is. Hey. Yes. Thank you, brother. Thank you, man. Listen, I mean, here's the thing. Obviously, I talk a lot about politics. We're seeing a lot of stuff out there with the Twitter files and stuff. So, I mean, you can only imagine, some things that we may have gone through potentially. I mean, I could write a book on that. I mean, in my opinion, I mean, I'm not alleging anything. Oh my goodness. Like, I mean, you've seen some stuff out there. I'm going to put it this way. Nobody knows. You never know, when you take that fork in the road, you never know what that other path could have led to. But I wouldn't have been surprised if I happened to be liberal, like a lot of my family are, if I wouldn't have been retired by now. You feel me? I mean, I've taken major heat for standing up for what I believe in and trying to help people and trying to stand up for freedom, liberty, equality, opportunity, love for everybody. And adhering to the values that I think make this country so great. And everybody deserves equality of opportunity. Everybody deserves respect. Everybody deserves, you know what I mean? And I believe in these values. I believe in what the framers tried. Oh, well, what do we got right here?
This is blue, and it's from the Weibo fence. Still like
wow.
This is from the Weibo fence.
There's different. Wow.
It's from the Weibo fence.
You are doing amazing. So, I think it's again, to borrow the line from Spider-Man, with great power comes great responsibility. I am a super genius, right? I have seen a lot. I have gotten out there. I've achieved a lot in my life. Maybe not always monetarily or whatever. I haven't, and I'm not a sellout. Anytime I want to be a sellout, I can be a sellout. I'm not a sellout. But I'm all about values, and I'm all about doing the right thing, and I'm all about trying to use my gifts and taking heat to, to try to promote freedom, equality, opportunity, education, and stuff for everybody. And so I've got some different initiatives that I'm working on. I want to help people. You gotta try to make this world better than when you came into it with. That's what I think. Anyway, I don't want to get on the soapbox. You got me all sentimental and stuff like that, man. So I appreciate you. I definitely appreciate you. That is. I am right a lot. I am right a lot. I appreciate that, Frank. I hope you're doing well. So anyway, enough about that. I've talked a lot about politics. It's going to be very, very interesting. We're at a time now that the last few, 3 years have been very crazy worldwide, and I think. It's not just the pandemic. It's like a lot of things. I mean, you see things that were going on in Canada, you see stuff in New Zealand, you see stuff here. I mean, and people are like, wait a minute. What relationship, how do we want to be governed? How do we want to live? What policies do we want to endorse? At the same time, to take the other end of it, I think there have been very valuable and important and crucial conversations that have been needed to have been conducted for a long time coming to make sure that everybody has a seat at the table and feels included, and that we are really representing all of America, and that's very important, or the world, etc. And that's a crucial point.
From the rainbow fence. This is pink from the rainbow fence.
Oh my goodness, you have so many different things going on here.
There's 3 rainbow fence now.
But I think I think that it's also going to be, I've got my daughter here, and I don't want to get her involved in the political stuff. She's just sitting here. But I think, as a father, right, I think that people are going to be very tuned into, and whatever. I mean, all of it. Where I come to the table at here, where my point of view is. How about that? Very tuned into economics. Very tuned into education. Right. Very tuned into, family and freedom and everything like that. So it's going to be. I think politicians need to deliver for people worldwide. I think that's what it is at this point, right? And I think people are going to, they don't care about. I think that you're going to get a lot farther with actual results than rhetoric. And I think that if something's not sustainable, it's not sustainable. If something doesn't make sense, it doesn't make sense. And that's it. At the same time, taking it the other way, I don't know and I'm not here to slam anyone or anything, but I wasn't, I really wasn't a fan of whatever was happening there, and I didn't even. I just saw a headline, but just from what I saw, it may be my mistake, whatever. So, I could be in error ahead of time, but I wasn't a fan of whatever Marjorie Taylor Greene was doing there with speaking during the State of the Union. I don't know. I don't know. I don't think that was super helpful from what I was able to observe. I don't know why we're doing things like that. And listen, she's a congressperson. I'm not. Like I like to say, I'm nobody. I just know a lot of things and know a lot of people. Okay. And but I'm nobody. She's a congressperson, right? So I'm just sitting here on the sideline trying to comment and stuff. But I don't think that was very helpful. So we need to find, not to be cliche, but we need to find a way to have conversations together and to work together and to have solutions that make sense. You can't have an economy where people aren't working. It's not going to work. There's no magic money. Whether it's remote or in office or hybrid or, I see all these things I see all these articles being written now about, the labor market's too strong. Wages are going up. People aren't coming back to work. How do we get leverage back into, this is a P and a G. P and G. There's number jacks or something, right?
It's a PG.
PG. There we go.
It's kind of like somebody invented some days. I don't know when they invented that.
Invented it?
There's a lot of other wattles I didn't do, but there's other wattles I don't know the colors yet, but I know what you see and also that.
Let's do another drawing. I'm almost done. We'll talk to you and we'll wrap it up. So, this is what I think 2023 is about. About reality, about delivering for people, about real results. So things that don't make sense, don't make sense. Used cars being higher, more valuable than new cars, that doesn't make sense, right? That's not sustainable in my opinion. Real estate that went up in some markets way up very rapidly, and maybe it doesn't represent, where, the rate of inflation and stuff like that. That doesn't make sense to me a long time. I'm not giving any advice, making any financial calls. Everything you do is at your own risk, etc. Not giving you any advice, financial or otherwise whatsoever. But things need to make sense. We can't have an economy where people aren't working. That doesn't make sense, right? If you cancel half the country, or and all that's not super helpful either. Similarly, politicians that don't represent over time, over a significant period of time, their constituents, that doesn't make sense. That's not going to work long term. That's not sustainable. So how do we get past that? Similarly, but on the flip side, making sure that, not having everybody at the table and everybody represented and having a conversation and treating everyone, everyone needs to be, again, equal opportunity, equal respect. That doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to not have that, right? We have to have equality, peace, love, opportunity, freedom, liberty for everyone, right? That's what we need to do. So we have to be able to deal on that plane right there. So there's a lot more I would say. I would also say that, you know, tech, I said this before, tech's not political. Amusement parks, you know, that cater to families shouldn't, in my opinion, shouldn't be overly political. You know, venture capital shouldn't be political. That doesn't mean that people can't. That doesn't mean that. What is this?
CNX.
CNX. Oh, cool. So we basically have kind of animated sort of personal, some quasi, I don't know what you would call some letters with some personification there. You know, those things don't make sense. That doesn't mean you can't vote for who you want to vote for, stand up for what you want to stand up for, be an active, do whatever you want to do, say whatever you want to say. But again, if it's most of tech or a lot of tech goes one way, same with the media, you know, and I said this before in one of my other videos, a 50% strategy is not a 100% strategy, right? If you want to position yourself a certain way, then that's what you're doing, but understand there's risk and rewards when you do that.
We need more people.
Ask mama. Similarly, if everyone's doing that, let's say that I'm not making up a fictitious number, I'm making up a totally fake number. If 90% of tech or 95% of tech is, you know, to the left of the Democratic Party or significantly left or left of center or whatever, however you want to quantify that, then you're not really doing anything risky or different, or that you're like you're the same as everybody else in that space. So it's not like you're, you know, and so that's what I'm talking about. So, but I don't think that this is a longer conversation. I'm not prepared to really dive into it right now, but I'll just barely touch on it. You know, I do think there's a place for you know, companies to be more than just pure profits and let's make the most money and everything like that. But I think that this is something that has to be thought through. There's more. I'm not prepared to really answer this right now, but I do think that it's. I don't. Same thing I said politically. I don't think we go back to the way that it was. I think that there's been a regression in certain aspects in terms of, you know, freedom and liberty and stuff like that. But there's also been a progression on other things. And this is part of my whole thesis. So I think I'm an optimist. I think over time we figure it all out and we move forward, right? So I think that we have to take some of the lessons of the last 5, 10, whatever years that have been positive, and also go back to some of those principles that, you know, that maybe we kind of lost our way on a little bit, and synthesize that and get a better way, for, you know, again, for everyone, right? So anyway, I hope that makes sense. I can't make it all make sense right now in an hour show or less. I do want to wind down, and I want to spend some time with the fam. I've got some other work I got to do. I may be broadcasting later, depending on if I react to some of the sports things or some of the stuff out there. We'll see. No promises. Jonnaire, are you ready? You want to talk to the people over here? You want to say some final things?
So we are making some letters. I'm not done with that.
I'm sorry. Okay.
So I'm gonna make a letter soon, but you need to pay attention first to
Okay.
my records.
Okay.
Letter signs are perfect
Okay.
for everything else.
And listen.
And also the drawing's gonna be done.
This isn't
soon.
just a thing on the right either. So like on the left, and this is just one issue, right? And I don't know how it's going to be sorted out. But you take, and again, I'm not pontificating or espousing on the actual policy, but you take the student loan issue. That's something that the Democratic Party has been talking about for a long time. I think Elizabeth Warren, I think AOC, certainly President Biden, and now it was kind of like they rolled that out late. And now it looks like it's up to Supreme Court. Who knows how that's all going to sort out? And to the extent that voters on the left or whatever, I mean, you know, the people that support that, you know, who knows, you know, wherever they vote, whatever they are in the political spectrum, feel like that's not delivered on. That may have political impact, you know, for President Biden and the Democratic Party in 2024. So I think it's not one side or the other. I think it's at a point now where the idea, whether it's Twitter files or whatever else, that you can just like control the information and, you know, whatever. I feel like people are smart. People want politicians that are going to deliver for them. They want to have policies that make sense. And there you go. So it's a very interesting time, actually. And I am optimistic. If for no other reason than seeing what's going on in the House with Speaker McCarthy. And again, you could be a Democrat, whatever, but you should say to yourself, okay, well, this is someone that's actually, you know, being responsive to the kind of compromise that brought him into power, right? And so we'll see. Anyway, enough about that. There's only so much I can say now because a lot of this has to play out, and I haven't fully thought about a lot of this. But I want to lead with that main theme, which is if you want to defeat Trump politically, just enact his policies with less of the negative, or just speak to his policies with less of the negative. To the extent that people believe that politician will deliver for them, and it's being honest and transparent and will stand up for those policies, then they may be successful. But I also think that right now, as I said, I think it's going to be Trump versus Biden. But we'll see. All right, here we go. So we've got, wow. Okay, so we've got like a ghost-like L. And what is this
No,
L?
L. This is L.
What's the M?
M. And also F.
Interesting. Oh, I will say this too, and there's actually, I'm going to do a whole different show on this. I'm not prepared to do it now. But how do you know what you know? Right? And that leads into a lot of this. There was this awesome series I saw on Netflix about some like archaeology stuff and ancient apocalypse or something like that, or whatever, about like just going around the world and some of the historical things, and do we need to learn more, correct the history, etc., etc. I think that's really I love watching all kinds of space stuff and science stuff and learning. Oh, that was the other thing, because I was talking to someone before about UFOs and life on other planets. First of all, they've confirmed there's life on other planets. There's microbes from meteors or something that came from Mars, and well, not micro. Okay, so you've already admitted that there's life on other planets, but you're willing to tell me? I know enough to know that there's like 100x times of stuff that I don't know. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, I just think it's so arrogant to think that like 600 years ago, whatever it was, 700 years ago, they thought the world was flat. Okay? So there was this thing and so if there's billions and billions and billions of other planets, we have no idea what's out there. I'm not saying there's anything out there, but for someone to say that for sure there's some, and we've seen now that the government they've had some different discussions and some hearings. And again, I don't want to get into all that. I feel like I'm back in Salt Lake City and stuff, doing talk radio, and Clive went out there doing Ground Zero and stuff. So shout out to Clive and everybody, and of course the great Art Bell and all that. At some point I may do a show on that. There's all kinds of information out there. I'm fascinated. I want to learn. I'm not saying I want to learn, and I have an open mind.
Piggy.
A piggy. Wow.
This is a Roblox.
It's a Roblox pig.
No, this is Minecraft pig.
Minecraft pig. Well, what's good is we've been doing this test, and it looks like the camera's holding up, which is awesome. So it looks like we definitely have our method for doing this now for longer broadcasts here with this other camera, my A camera, if you will. I know we're almost done. I'll call you over here to say goodbye to the guys in a second. But what I did see, so I'll lay this on the table, is there's some scientists that are theorizing that there wasn't a Big Bang, and I have to find the article for this, whatever. In fact, we may be living inside a black hole, and that's insane, right? And I'm not saying it's insane. That I'm not speaking on the theory. I'm saying like if true, that's a wild concept, right? And that's what I'm saying. There's so much that we do not know. And they're like, yeah, the mass of the universe is kind of like if you were to do the singularity, if you were to calculate this and that, and all all these different things, and I don't even know enough to be dangerous to me, but that it would kind of fit. It's kind of a weird coincidence and stuff. And I'm sure it's a small group of scientists right now, whatever. But I mean, there's just so much that we do not know. You know, dark matter, where does it come from? They don't know. You know, et cetera, et cetera. So that I think is a good show, and that may be a long show, and I really need to be prepared to do that show correctly and do it justice. But the theme would be, how do you know what you know? If you look over the last 3, 4, 5 years, you know, like how many things did they say were this and then it turned out to be that? Oh, was it? Oh, you know, whether, you know, insert, I don't want to get into any specific thing, but insert whatever here. I mean, there's like a bunch. How do you know what you know? And I think it's important, and not to get into any specific things, but we'll put the different examples out there if and when I do this show. But in terms of how you approach things, where your sources are, how do you verify something, how do you make sense of it, you know, and how can you logically approach stuff, and you know, because I think it's very, very important. You need to be armed with a logical and scientific approach in life to be able to make sense of everything, particularly now with the rapidity of information. There's so much information now, so many things that you need to know, that you have to be aware of, and you have to be able to analyze it and process it very, very rapidly. But that's a whole different show. We're going to wind down here. It's been about an hour. Okay, final stuff. Jonnaire, what are you doing? What do you want to say to everybody? You've had so many different drawings here.
So there's one more drawing. So
let me count all your drawings. First of all, come up here and talk to everybody, please.
So every time I draw,
we'll go through all the drawings here in a second.
When I just think of drawing, I think of the other stuff.
Whenever you're drawing, you do think of a lot of stuff. Do you want to say anything to everybody out here?
So
get in here, sit up on here.
So we're gonna do a video with a little bit more.
Pretty soon, we're probably gonna launch Jonnaire's own channel, because she's got things that she wants to say. If you were gonna do a channel, what would you want to do? Like drawing and educational stuff, things like that?
I want to do
dancing.
I want to do the other fake stuff, and I don't know what I could do, but I'm gonna do that.
All right, so we're probably gonna be launching a Jonnaire channel soon here. But let's do a little count. In the hour here, in about an hour, she's done one video. One. This is the number of drawings. 2, 3. I mean, she's just nonstop. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. People don't understand when I talk about how fast she draws and how much she draws. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and I guess this is the 20th. Just over an hour.
This is, no, it's upside down.
Done 20 some odd drawings.
No,
20
can
about
I
20.
tie them?
Okay, sorry. Go ahead. What's this one?
Upside down.
Sorry.
Croissant and a penguin.
Wow, that's awesome. Okay, so come up here and say goodbye to everybody.
Goodbye, everybody.
Anything else you want to say?
We have those erasers at school. In Orange Row, you could get those. No, I just.
You like your school? You like to learn?
So in Orange Row, we could have
okay,
and also we this
like
eraser. You could get them from anywhere you want, and you need to find them. But we not have
Well,
a store.
say thank you for watching, everybody.
We not have a store yet of our store yet. We need some.
You want to sell erasers now?
No.
We're going to figure out what we're going to do.
We need the store of everything.
Oh, we're going to have all kinds of stuff. All right. Well, listen, pretty soon I think Miss Jonnaire is going to have her own channel. Who knows what we're going to do. But she definitely needs to, she has a lot that she wants to say out there, and she deserves her own videos and everything.
You could watch anything about croissants, because I got this gold as eraser and orange
Okay,
gloves.
listen.
And also
Jonnaire.
this pink one is amazing.
Jonnaire,
So this
very
pink
good.
one is kind of cute, and this one is
you
kind
are
of fun.
you're the best.
The cardstock is kind of funchy.
Yes.
It looks like funchy.
Yes, you're the best. Anyway, listen, I'm just a little protective of her.
Funchy.
I don't want to get into every single
French
detail of her
French
school and all that.
croissants.
You know what I mean? Because that's like so I've got to be careful with her. So anyway, you're the best. Anything you want to say in closing? Thanks everybody. We appreciate it. Thanks for watching. Thanks so much.
Penguins and funchy. Penguins and funchy. ¿Cómo
There you go.
estás?
Okay.
Ciao.
Bye.
¿Cómo
See you.
estás? And also ciao for the other one. And
Okay.
also,
Look at all the disclaimers in the video description on YouTube.
And also,
Thanks so much
you
for
could
watching.
get
We'll see everybody next time.
We have
Okay,
enough jams and orange balls, guys. So